If you garden in the city, you already know the challenge. Urban soils are often compacted, disturbed, contaminated, or stripped of life. Yet here's the encouraging truth I've seen again and again. With the right approach, even the most neglected urban soil can be transformed into a thriving, productive ecosystem. Whether you're growing vegetables on a balcony, managing a community garden, or tending a small backyard, healthy soil is the foundation of success. In this guide for the soil science garden, I want to walk with you through practical, science-backed ways to rebuild and protect soil health in urban spaces. This isn't theory. It's real, actionable soil care you can apply right away to grow stronger plants, improve yields, and create greener cities. Urban soils face a unique set of stresses that many rural gardeners never encounter. Years of construction, foot traffic, and heavy machinery often leave soil severely compacted. In many locations, the topsoil has been removed entirely and replaced with subsoil that lacks organic matter and biological life. Contamination is another concern. Depending on the history of the site, urban soils may contain heavy metals such as lead, residues from past industrial activity, or pollutants from traffic and building materials. Even where contamination isn't severe, urban soils are typically low in nutrients and beneficial microorganisms. What this means for gardeners is simple. Urban soil rarely starts in good condition, but the good news is that soil is a living system, and living systems can recover. With patience and the right strategies, you can rebuild structure, restore life, and turn urban soil into one of your greatest gardening assets. Before adding anything to your soil, the most important step is understanding what's already there. A basic soil test reveals pH, nutrient levels, and organic matter content. In urban areas, it's also wise to test for heavy metals, especially if you plan to grow food. Testing takes the guesswork out of gardening. If the soil is acidic, you'll know whether lime is needed. If nutrients are already high, you can avoid over-fertilizing. And if contamination is present, you can make informed decisions about raised beds or soil replacement. Think of testing as your soil health roadmap. It ensures every improvement you make is targeted and effective. If there is one principle that transforms urban soil faster than anything else, it's this: add organic matter and keep adding it. Organic matter improves soil structure, increases water retention, enhances nutrient availability, and feeds the microorganisms that drive soil fertility. In compacted or lifeless urban soil, it acts like a reset button. Compost is the gold standard. Whether you make your own kitchen and yard compost or purchase high-quality finished compost, incorporating it into the topsoil each season gradually rebuilds structure and fertility. Even a thin layer applied regularly can make a dramatic difference over time. Leaf mold, well-rotted manure, and composted plant residues also work beautifully. The key is consistency. Urban soils often start depleted, so think in terms of long-term rebuilding rather than a one-time fix. Compaction is one of the biggest barriers to healthy urban soil. When soil particles are pressed tightly together, air and water just can't move freely, and plant roots really struggle to grow. If your soil feels hard, drains poorly, or, plants appear stunted, compaction may be the problem. The solution begins with minimizing traffic. It's a good idea to create designated paths in garden spaces and avoid stepping on planting areas. For existing compaction, gentle loosening with a garden fork helps without destroying soil structure. Avoid deep, aggressive tilling, especially once organic matter levels begin to improve. Over time, compost additions and plant roots will naturally rebuild a more open, stable structure. Deep-rooted plants, such as daikon radish or certain cover crops, can also act as natural soil looseners, creating channels that improve aeration and drainage. Cover crops aren't just for large farms. Even in urban environments, they are powerful tools for soil health. When garden beds would otherwise sit bare, planting cover crops protects the soil from erosion, suppresses weeds, and adds organic matter. Legumes such as clover or beans also fix nitrogen, enriching the soil naturally. In small urban beds, fast-growing species like buckwheat or mustard work well between main crops. If space is limited, even a short cover crop cycle between seasons can significantly improve soil structure and biological activity. Living roots feed soil microbes continuously, and that microbial activity is what turns ordinary soil into a fertile growing medium. In areas where soil contamination or severe compaction is a concern, raised beds provide an effective alternative. By filling beds with clean, high-quality soil and compost, you create a controlled environment for growing food safely. Raised beds also improve drainage, warm up faster in spring, and reduce the need to step on planting areas. Over time, the soil in raised beds becomes rich and biologically active, especially if organic matter is added regularly. Even if your native soil isn't ideal, raised beds allow you to garden successfully, while working gradually to improve the surrounding ground. If testing reveals elevated heavy metals or pollutants, don't panic. There are practical ways to garden safely. Adding organic matter helps bind contaminants, reducing their availability to plants. Maintaining a neutral pH also limits heavy metal uptake. For food crops, focusing on fruiting plants such as tomatoes, peppers, and beans is generally safer than growing root vegetables or leafy greens in marginal soils. Mulching exposed soil reduces dust, which is an important pathway for contamination exposure. And of course, raised beds with clean soil remain the most reliable option for high-risk sites. Urban gardening is absolutely possible, even in imperfect soils, with the right precautions. Bare soil is vulnerable soil. In urban environments where heat, wind, and foot traffic are common, mulching is essential. Organic mulches such as straw, wood chips, shredded leaves, or grass clippings help conserve moisture, moderate soil temperature, suppress weeds, and gradually add organic matter as they decompose. Mulch also protects the soil from compaction caused by heavy rain and reduces surface crusting. Over time, a well-mulched garden develops a rich, crumbly top layer full of earthworms and microbial life. Think of mulch as the soil's protective blanket and one of the simplest ways to promote long-term health. Urban soils often struggle with both extremes. They dry out quickly in heat, but drain poorly when compacted. Smart watering practices help maintain a healthy balance. Deep, infrequent watering encourages roots to grow downward rather than staying shallow. Drip irrigation or soaker hoses deliver water efficiently without disturbing soil structure. As organic matter increases, you'll notice a major improvement in water retention. Healthy soil acts like a sponge, holding moisture while still allowing excess water to drain. Improving soil structure is one of the most effective long-term water management strategies you can implement. Urban gardeners often rely heavily on synthetic fertilizers to compensate for poor soil. While these can provide short-term growth, they don't address the underlying problem. Healthy soil fertility comes from biological activity. Compost, worm castings, and organic amendments feed the soil food web, which in turn releases nutrients gradually and sustainably. When you focus on feeding the soil ecosystem, plants become more resilient, nutrient efficiency improves, and the need for frequent fertilization decreases. In urban gardening, this shift from plant feeding to soil feeding makes a huge difference over time. One of the most exciting transformations you'll see in improving urban soil is the return of life. Earthworms, beneficial fungi, bacteria, and insects all play critical roles in nutrient cycling and soil structure. Avoid practices that harm this life, such as excessive tilling or heavy chemical use. Keep soil covered, add organic materials regularly, and maintain diverse plantings. Community gardens and small urban plots can become surprisingly rich ecosystems when soil life is supported. Healthy biology is the invisible engine behind productive urban gardens. Urban soil health isn't just a personal project. It's a community opportunity. Shared composting programs, neighborhood tree planting, and community gardens all contribute to rebuilding soil across entire cities. When multiple gardeners focus on organic matter, reduced disturbance, and living soils, the cumulative impact is powerful. Healthier soils improve stormwater absorption, reduce urban heat, and create greener, more resilient neighborhoods. Even a small garden contributes to a larger urban ecosystem. One of the most important lessons I share on the soil science garden is this. Soil improvement takes time. Urban soils that have been degraded for decades won't recover overnight, but the changes begin sooner than you might expect. Within a season or two of adding compost, mulching, and reducing disturbance, you'll see better plant growth, improved moisture retention, and more biological activity. Think in years, not weeks. Each season builds on the last, and the reward is a living soil system that becomes easier to manage and more productive over time. Urban gardening is more than growing plants. It's about rebuilding life where it was lost. Every compost addition, every layer of mulch, every effort to protect soil structure helps restore ecological function in our cities. Healthy urban soils support food production, improve environmental quality, and reconnect people with the natural systems beneath their feet. Whether you garden in containers, raised beds, or open ground, your work contributes to a healthier urban landscape. And perhaps the most exciting part is this. Once soil health begins to improve, the system starts working with you. Plants grow stronger, pests become less problematic, water use decreases, and gardening becomes more rewarding. Promoting soil health in urban environments is one of the most impactful things any city gardener can do. Start with testing, rebuild organic matter consistently, protect the soil surface, minimize compaction, and focus on feeding the soil ecosystem rather than chasing quick fixes. If you stay patient and consistent, even the most challenging urban soil can become rich, productive, and alive. If you found this guide helpful and want more practical science-backed gardening insights, make sure to subscribe to the Soil Science Garden and share this with fellow gardeners who are working to green their cities. Together, we can turn urban spaces into thriving soil ecosystems, one garden at a time.